A cruel and manipulative former policeman, Ken Chik, who systematically raped 2 girls and a woman during a campaign of rape, has been jailed for 33 years. A complicit woman who joined in with him during his domineering sexual abuse has been jailed for 8 years. The repeated sexual exploitation of the traumatized victims left them with severe psychological problems, and one girl wrote in her diary that she suffered disgusting, painful, sickening memories. Former Royal Hong Kong police officer Ken Chik, 63, of Endymion Street, Hull, was convicted of 28 offences after a trial spanning 4 weeks at Hull Crown Court. The offences included rape, attempted rape, sexual assault, sexual activity with a child, causing a child to engage in sexual activity, and cruelty. Tracy Choi, 37, from the Hull area, was convicted of 6 offences, including rape and attempted rape. Sohail Khan, prosecuting, said that it was a campaign of rape by Ken Chik and the offences were frequently planned by him and involved the deliberate isolation of the victims. Ken Chik had caused emotional degradation and humiliation and sometimes used physical violence. The complainants were told by him not to report the offences, said Mr. Khan. The 2 girls were caused severe psychological harm. Judge Mark Berry said that Ken Chik systematically raped one of the girls and caused humiliation to her. It involved significant manipulation, psychological coercion, and the instillment of fear in her, said Judge Berry. You repeatedly engineered situations to abuse her. Tracy Choi was involved in some of the sexual offences. Judge Berry told Ken Chik, "It's clear to me that you are a cruel, domineering, angry, totally selfish man." Ken Chik was prone to violent mood swings and exploited the vulnerability of the adult victim cynically for sex. He said of her, "She was psychologically coerced to a high degree. You cynically manipulated a young woman. Your offending is characterized by extreme levels of manipulation and humiliation. You went to considerable lengths to ensure you were not caught." Ken Chik told the victims that nobody would believe them if they told anyone what had happened. One of the girls had written in her diary, "Why didn't I kill myself to end this suffering?" She wanted to know when her ordeal would end, and Judge Berry said, "Today. This is the first day of the rest of their lives." The victims had given utterly compelling evidence to the trial. Insane Judge Berry told Tracy Choi, "You were manipulated. I am satisfied that you became involved in these offences through psychological coercion and bullying. But the significant sympathy for her evaporates because she was complicit in rape and encouraged Ken Chik and participated in what happened." One of the girls said in a statement, "Physically and psychologically, I felt disgusting, dirty and ashamed. He was manipulative and controlling. Ken was addicted to power over vulnerable women and children. She had suffered traumatizing flashbacks weekly and sometimes woke up in a sweat." The girl added, "I am scarred externally and internally from his actions." The other girl said, "This kind of trauma isn't easy to forget. It's ingrained into my mind. There are many ways that Ken has affected me." The adult victim said that she had lived with fear and struggled with depression. She had suffered nightmares about falling from a very dark and high-up place and did not feel safe. She felt worthless, ashamed of herself, dirty and unclean through being raped. Stephen Robinson, mitigating, said it was a campaign of rape by Ken Chik and there was little that can be said for him. He denied all the offences. Ken Chik suffered from health problems, including heart trouble. Julia Baggs, representing Tracy Choi, said that the defendant came to Britain from Hong Kong for education when she was 18 but was here illegally and might face deportation. She had suffered nightmares about falling from a very dark and high-up place and did not feel safe. She felt worthless, ashamed of herself, dirty and unclean through being raped. Stephen Robinson, mitigating, said it was a campaign of rape by Ken Chik and there was little that can be said for him. He denied all the offences. Ken Chik suffered from health problems, including heart trouble. Julia Baggs, representing Choi, said that the defendant came to Britain from Hong Kong for education when she was 18 but was here illegally and might face deportation.